Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CLED News Brief. Today is Wednesday, March 15th. Well, we're going to review mortgage interest rate. And the first news is K-Town neighborhood in Manhattan will be cleaner and much nicer. And NYC rent still soars in 2023. And Musk is planning a Texas utopia, his own town. We're going to take a look at. And the CVB crisis heightens investors' worries. And after that, in 3 days, another bank is collapsed. Signature Bank is the second big bank failure in 3 days. While still inflation is issue, and the inflation cools but stays high. And EV charging network, electric vehicle charging network gets a 2.5 billion boost. Let's take a look at the news in detail. Okay, first of all, is a good news. This week is all green. So even I heard yesterday from one of lenders, the home mortgage lenders, the interest rate is going down below 6%, some programs. So anyway, it's a good news. I don't know if that's because of two banks' failure, which we're going to take a look at. And well, this week 6.75 30-year and 15 years 5.625, and 10-year treasury yield went down to 3.628. So probably next week we'll have to see again, but I believe it's going down. Okay. So hopefully it can be good news along with the spring season. Okay, the K-Town neighborhood in Manhattan will be cleaner and much nicer. The mayor, Eric Adams, announced a plan called Broadway Vision, which will make Broadway between 25th Street and 32nd Street as the pedestrian-friendly street. He announced that plan at the press conference with the DOT officials on March 12th. So this plan includes a new public space like park area and widened crossways, two-way bicycle path, and designated commercial loading, unloading space, etc. And the goal of this program, of course, to induce people to walk through the street so that consumer activities would be revitalized in the area after the pandemic. Let's take a look at the rendering. Okay, this is good. So the Greeley Park. Okay, there's some small spaces. This is 32nd Street. Okay, 32nd Street, and this is the 6th Avenue. Okay, so as you know, when people want to come to our office, usually I drive up on 6th Avenue and then make a right turn onto 32nd Street. So at the corner area is a Greeley Park, and it's going to be much nicer, just like that. So you can have space for breathe, and a lot of people see that just walking, no the automobile driving. And beyond this park, you can see Herald Square. I'm sorry, I did this mistake. Herald Square here. 메이어 아담스께서 브로드웨이 비전이라는 플랜을 발표를 했는데요. 12일 날. 지금 말씀드린 렌더링에서 보시면 알겠지만은 25가에서부터 브로드웨이를 25가에서부터 이 32가까지 차량 없이 보행할 수 있는 그런 지역으로 만들겠다. 그런 발표를 했고요. 거기에는 이제 투웨이 바이스클 패스가 있고 파크 에리어가 있고 길 건너는 횡단보도가 넓어지고 그다음에 커머셜 트럭들이 로드 언로드 할 수 있도록 그렇게 해주는 그런 플랜을 발표를 했다. 그래서 32가 케이타운 근처가 굉장히 깨끗해지고 더 안전해지고 또 이제 사람들이 걸어 다니면서 액티비티를 할 수 있는 그런 환경으로 바뀐다. 그런 얘기였고요. It can be a nice plan. 그리고 뉴욕 okay. NYC rented steel stores in 2023. Recently, Element reported the average rent in Manhattan in February reached to $5,186, which is up 0.9% from last month and up 5.7% from last year. But median rent is a little bit lower, $4,095, and that's about pretty similar of last month. Median rent is $4,097. What about Northeast Queens? A lot of Korean population concentrated, and median rent over there was $3,238 in February, which is down from last month, but still up 12.1% from last year. What about Brooklyn? The median rent was $3,400 and also down 2.8% from last month. Last month was record high, $3,499. And the median rent, $3,400 in Brooklyn, is up 17.2% from last year. So still, it's up from last year. Like Manhattan, 5.7% up, and the Northeast Queens still 12% up, and the Brooklyn is still 17.2% up from last year. 뉴욕이 렌트가 계속 고공행진을 하고 있다 하는 뉴스가 지금 중앙일보에 나와 있었고요. 그래서 average 맨하탄 렌트가 지금 5,186불 2월 달에, 근데 1월 달 대비 0.9%가 올라간 거고요. 1년 전 대비는 5.7% 올라갔다. 미디엄 프라이스는 조금 떨어지고요. Northeast Queens, 우리 한국 분들이 많은 지역, 거기는 오히려 1월 달보다는 좀 내려갔다고요. 3,238불. 그러나 1년 전 대비는 12.1%가 올라갔고요. 그 다음에 브루클린은 3,400불인데 그것도 전번 달 대비 2.8% 떨어졌는데 전번 달에는 사실 January는 브루클린이 레코드 하이였다 그래요. 3,499불. 그러나 2월리로 봤을 땐 여전히 17.2%가 올라가 있다. Okay, next news is Elon Musk is planning to build his own town on part of thousands of acres. I believe Hyundai Savannah factory is about 3,000 acres, and we're talking about 2,800 acres of newly purchased pasture and farmland outside the Texas capital. According to these and other land records and people familiar with the project. Okay, so he purchased, I believe, close to 3,000 acres. And the planned town is adjacent to Boring Company and SpaceX. Boring also owned by Musk. I think the SpaceX, of course, now under construction. The site already includes a group of modular homes and pool and outdoor sports area and a gym, according to Facebook photos. And under the Texas law, a town needs at least 201 residents before it can apply in incorporate. In other words, in order to apply for new town, it requires at least 201 residents live in that area, that town to be, I guess, and then approval from a country judge. So Bastrop County, this area is a Bastrop County, hasn't received an application from Mr. Musk or any of his entities, a spokeswoman said. Okay. So it's something going on. And what area it can be? Let's take a look at the map. Okay, I'm going to take a look at. I'm sorry, this is not. Okay, I think I could find, yes. Okay, I hope you can see the map in Texas. Okay, this is Austin area, Texas. Let's go back to the map. Okay, this is a map. It's the Dallas, and going south, and this is Houston. So this is Austin area. So it's about triangular kind of a location: Dallas, Austin, and Houston. So if we go into, zoom into Austin area, this Austin area, and we're going to see where is the Tesla Gigafactory. Here we go. This is Texas, Tesla Gigafactory here. It is huge. Now, where he's going to build his own town is along with the Colorado River. Okay, so somewhere here, this area possibly. So he purchased the pasture and farmland already, about 3,000 square feet. And if we go further, look at these houses already packed somehow. It's unbelievable. Look at this. This is all houses, right? It's a packed really. Even they don't have much space in between. It's like a military quarters. But anyway, he's gonna have his own somewhere. I think SpaceX is somewhere here. I couldn't see, and also Boring Company that he owns. Okay, so this area somewhere, he's going to build his own town. As you know, in U.S. Municipality, if you have, there is a municipality, then everything they can control. Okay, there's town ordinances. If you come up with the town ordinances, and it's a law of in 1976 that each town must have master plan. Okay, in that total area. So he can come up with his own master plan. I mean, but it's a town board members, I guess, but he can have a great influence. So anyway, he will he will build his own town. 그 지금 보여드린 지도서처럼 그 앨런 머스크가 그 자기 지금 제가 본 거로는 아마 2,800 스퀘어 핏, I'm sorry, 2,800 acres. 현대 사바나 공장이 3,000에이커라는데 하여튼 그 정도 팜랜드 패스처를 지금 벌써 사들였다고 하는 레코드는 나왔어요. 그러나 여기 지금 보니까 아직은 애플리케이션 들어온 건 없다. 근데 지금 보면 벌써 컨스트럭션이 진행되고 있다. 여기 이제 보링 컴퍼니하고 스페이스X 근처에. 그래 텍사스 법에 의하면 타운을 어플라이 하려면 뮤니시패리티죠. 201 레지던트가 있어야 된다. 그렇게 지금 법은 그렇게 돼 있다. 거기가 이제 베스트로 카운티고요. 그 근처가. 오케이. SVB crisis heightens investor worries. Well, as we all know, on Friday, Silicon Valley Bank was shut down after getting hit by a run on its deposits, the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. So now investors kind of worried. The fallout has jolted Wall Street. It gives a shock, heightening fears that a year of rapidly tightening financial conditions is finally hitting home for financial sector. Well, what's happening is that right now the Fed is tightening the financial conditions, right, by increasing interest rate. So the people are saying this is a part of this move, the increasing interest rate. And some bank will have tough time, and like this bank, they shut down. So SV's collapse, the largest since 2008 financial crisis. Everybody's familiar with the financial crisis. And this bank's collapse helped send S&P 500 down 3.3% over the final 2 trading days. And the traders began to speculate about what other fast-growing banks might be hurt and whether the troubles might encourage the Fed to pause or even halt its year-long effort to slow inflation by raising interest rate. So this incident gives the signal to Fed, hey, stop increasing interest rate, okay? And then 3 days later, within 3 days, another bank in Manhattan collapsed again. There's a signature bank we'll take a look at. 아시겠지만은 그 캘리포니아의 실리콘밸리 뱅크가 셧다운 됐고요. 물론 이제 FDIC에 보험이 들어가 있죠. 그래서 디파짓 한 머니는 25만 불까지 원래는. 근데 정부에서 아마 좀 겁이 나니까 25만 불 이상도 다 그 디파짓 한 거는 되돌려주겠다라고는 했는데, 하여튼 지금 월스트리트저널도 그렇고 월스트리트도 그렇고 한번 샤크가 일어났죠. 그래서 S&P가 하루 이틀에 3.3% 떨어졌는데 뭐 다시 뭐 회복은 된 것 같아요. 그러자 3일 만에 또 뉴욕에 있는 뱅크가 또 하나 셧다운 됐죠. 그거는 이제 보시겠지만은 이제 조금 다른 이슈인데, 하여튼 다른 뉴스 한번 또 들어가 보죠. Okay. And Signature Bank is the second bank, big bank failure in 3 days after SVB failed. So Signature Bank was closed by regulators on Sunday, the second massive bank failure in 3 days. And this bank is New York based. But this bank is related to the cryptocurrency. So the signature was also reeling from a bet on crypto banking. So I think they took too much risk. They put the money into the crypto area and found that after the sector imploded and banking regulators cracked down on lenders' exposure to digital assets, the failure is the third largest in history. So government starts control on the crypto banking. So signature customers will get all of their deposits back, including money above the 250,000 limit for the Federal Deposit Insurance, which is FDIC. And the bank had 110 billion in assets and 88.6 billion in deposit as of the end of 2022. So by deposits, it was the 30th biggest bank in the US last year. So 말씀드린 대로 SVB 뱅크, 캘리포니아 뱅크가 셧다운된 지 3일 만에 뉴욕에 있는 크립토 뱅킹 하는, 주로 크립토 뱅킹을 하는 회사인데 시그니처 뱅크가 또 거버먼트에서 셧다운됐다. 그래서 지금 인베스터들이 굉장히 이게 지금 페드에서 너무 이자를 올리면서 자금을 타이트닝 하는 거죠. 자금 돌아가는 걸 줄이는 거예요. 그 효과로 지금 터지고 있는 것이 아니냐, 이런 지금 얘기들을 하고 있어서 페드에게 지금 시그널이 가지 않았느냐, 너무 이자를 많이 올리지 마라. 그래서 그런지 사실은 그 전서부터 얘기가 나왔는데 요번 그 마치 FOMC 미팅에서 0.5%만 올릴 거다라고 하는 얘기가 벌써 들리기 시작을 했죠. Not 0.5%. Okay. Okay, next news is inflation cools but stays high. It's like oxymoron express. Consumer price index, a closely watched inflation gauge, rose 6% in February from a year earlier, down from 6.4% gain the prior month. Okay, so last month, January, it was 6.4% from a year ago, and February, it's 6% from a year ago. Okay, and that was the smallest increase since September 2021. At the time, September 21, it was a 9%, over 9% from a year ago. When excluding volatile, well, basically core index is slightly slower, 5.5%. So this is a better indicator of future inflation, they said. So the Fed's FOMC meeting, March 21 through 22, which is next year, next 2 week, Tuesday and Wednesday, always Tuesday and Wednesday. So usually we don't see the result of FOMC meeting because we have a Wednesday meeting, and only the result we know is from Thursday. So anyway, this meeting could feature an intense debate over the benefits of holding rates unchanged to provide more time to see if a banking crisis eases versus continuing to raise rates to avoid the inflation and etc. So they will have a heavy debate in this meeting, even maybe not even raising 2.25% even. Maybe even they can just hold it. Okay, that's what they're saying. So while consumer inflation is down from its recent peak last June, June of 2021, it is still well elevated from a pre-pandemic rate of just over 2%. You remember before pandemic, the government is trying to raise inflation rate to 2%. And it wasn't 2% range. But now it's way over 2%. So try to control down. Then high prices have caused some consumers to pull back and seek cheaper alternatives. Okay. 그 인플레이션이 쿨스 다운 되긴 되지만 still 어떤 포인트에서 안 내려오고 있다. 그것이 지금 6% 정도죠. 지금 February가 1년 전 대비 6% 올랐는데 물론 January 6.4%, 6.4%보다는 작은 건데 지금 그렇게 되어 있는데 굉장히 consistent하다. 이 인플레이션도 잘 내려오질 않아요. 그래서 이제 소비자들은 이제 경비를 줄이려고 다른 이제 얼터너티브를 찾게 지금 됐다. 이런 지금 얘기죠. 아직 2%대가 되는데 멀었으니까. 팬데믹 전에는 우리가 2%를 목표로 해서 오히려 2%보다 안 돼가지고 애를 많이 썼었는데 지금 FOMC 미팅이 3월 21일 다음 주 화요일 수요일에 이제 걸쳐서 있게 되고요. 거기서 지금 굉장히 디베이트가 나올 거라는 예상을 하고 있는데 왜냐하면 지금 뱅크 2개가 페일리어했죠. 돈을 너무 타이트하게 조이니까. 그리고 이제 뱅크 스스로 너무 리스크, 그러니까 에셋 대비 디파짓을 잘못 플레이를 하면 이제 디파짓을 못 주는 이런 현상. 그리고 이제 뱅크는 레귤레이션이 있죠. 디파짓된 머니의 몇 배 이상 그걸 굴리면 안 되는 뭐 이런 게 있어요. 그러니까 가버먼트가 보고 있다가 셧다운 시킬 수 있어요. 뭐 이런 것들이 있어서 지금 그런 상황이다 되다 보니까 페드에서 이걸 지금 사실은 바로 전에 뱅킹 크라이시스 요 두 개 은행 실패하기 전에 0.25%를 올릴 거라는 얘기가 있었거든요. 0.5 대신에. 근데 지금은 그냥 안 올리고 유지를 해야 되느냐 하는 것도 이번에 디베이트를 할 거다 하는 예상을 지금 하고 있는 거죠. 오케이. If we look at the chart, this right here. So this is the peak point. And right now we're talking about 6% over last year. The core CPI is 5.5%. So you see there here 2%, right? This area. So pre-pandemic we were less than 2%, some area. Even right after 2020, way low to 2%. So the government is trying to bring it up to 2% range. To 2% is the target. But after 2021, too much money in the market and the inflation going up and up, it was about 9%. Okay. And now it's about coming down about 6%. Okay, last news is EV charging network gets 2.5 billion boost. Well, this is a good news for the EV electrical vehicle holders, the owners. The federal government, they announced the 2.5% $2.5 billion in new grants for the construction of EV charging stations and alternative fueling infrastructure. So, but they're going to put the underserved neighborhood and community the higher priority, aiming in part at increasing access in underserved neighborhood. Okay, and $2.5 billion split into two tracks. One is, as we said, the community program, which seeks to strategically distribute chargers in underserved location. And another track is corridor, the program, which will focus on the highways to enable gas-free cross-country travel and long-haul trucking. I think most problem will be long-haul trucking, like a big trucks, containers. They have to travel long way, and if it becomes EV, electrical car, then charging is a big problem. So they're going to concentrate on the sort of a corridor program, which focus on highways. And the grants come under the Biden's public goal of establishing 500,000 public EV charging stations. Okay, 500,000 charge stations. That's a public goal. And reducing national greenhouse gas emission by at least 50% by the year 2030. That's the Biden admin's goal. 그 EV 충전소 계획에 자금이 큰 자금이 지원되는데 2.5 빌리언 자금이 투자돼서 지금 차징 스테이션을 인프라스트럭처를 만들겠다. 그런데 이제 두 가지 목표인데 그 커뮤니티 프로그램이라고 그래서 underserved than area 그쪽에다가 EV 스테이션을 더 많이 만들겠다. 그 다음에 또 한쪽은 이 하이웨이에다가 sort of gasoline-free cross-country travel and long-haul trucking이라는 목표로 하이웨이에 차징 스테이션을 만들겠다. 그래서 바이든 정부의 목표가 2030년 전까지 50만 대 차징 스테이션 짓는 거고요. 또 하나는 그린하우스 가스 에미션을 50% 줄이는 거다. 아주 어그레시브한 좀 목표를 가지고 있는데. Okay, so that's it for this week's news brief. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for joining, and I will see you all next week.